So we're going to look at multiplying multi-digit whole numbers, but let's step back a little bit and look at where we've come from with our multiplication. When we were multiplying just single-digit numbers, such as 9 times 7, one of our basic facts, we learned that that was 63. From there, we moved to multiplying a number such as 29 times 7. Once again, we started in the ones place and multiplied 7 times 9, and we still got 63 and carried our 6. And we multiplied the 7 times the 2 to get 14 and added the 6 on top to get 20 for our final product of 203. But let's say now that we go to multiplying a number such as 29 times 37. Well, we really need to stop and think about what this means. We're still seeing 29 times this 7, and then we're going to multiply the 29 times this 3, but that's not a 3 because it's in the tens place. That's actually a 30. So let's break it down and get some partial products to see exactly what that would be. So if I were to break that down, let's do one step at a time. Let's go back to our 29 times the 7. And since we've already done that up here, we know that 9 times 7 was the 63. Carried the 6. 7 times 2 is 14, plus the 6 was the 20. So it is still 203. But now let's look at that 3 that was in the 37. What that actually means is 29 times the 30. We've already done the 7, and now we're going to look at the 30. Well, I have a 0 in that ones place, so I'm just going to put that 0 down and move over here to my 3 and say that 3 times that 9 is 27 and carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So the 29 times 30 is 870. But I need to put these two back together because I have the 7 and I have the 30. So let's put it back together to make my 37. So I had this 203. So let's bring that over here, 203. And I want to add this 870. And when I add that 3 and 0 and 0 and 7 and 2 and 8, my final answer is 1073. But wow, that took us 1, 2, 3, 4, sort of like 4 steps to do. So I think we can do that a little easier and put it all into one problem instead of breaking it apart. So let's see if we can learn how to have some partial products, but all within one problem. All right, so let's look at 212 times 24 and see if we can do this in one long problem rather than writing it 4 separate times. So when I look at this problem, 212 times 24, let's actually do the 212 times the 4. So I'm going to have 4 times 2, and that's going to give me 8. 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. Now, I have to remember that I'm going to add a 0 right here that shows that we are multiplying in the tens place. So I'm going to put that 0 down because now I'm moving to this, to the 2, to this 2. Okay, so I'm in my tens place now. I put the 0 here because that was in the ones place. So I'm moving to this 2, and I'm ready to multiply the 2 times the 2, and then the 2 times the 1, and the 2 times the 2. So let's do that. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 times 2 is 4. Oh, that was much easier than on the previous slide where I had to write it 3 different times. So now that I've done that, I'm ready to add my partial products together, like we did on the previous page, but this is all in one step now. Much easier. And I have 8 plus 0 is 8, and 4 plus 4 is 8, and 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 4 and 1 is 5. So my answer of 5,088, and that is a multi-digit multiplication problem, all in one problem rather than 3 or 4. All right, let's try a couple more. Now we've got these on grid paper. Sometimes grid paper helps you to keep your numbers lined up. So if you need to work your problems on grid paper, that's perfectly fine. Let's look at our first problem, 821 times 42. I want to start with the 2, and 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 8 is 16. Now I've multiplied the 2 times everything, and I'm ready to move on to that 4. But remember, that's not a 4, it's actually a 40. So I'm going to put my 0 down that indicates that I'm now in the tens place. That's a 40. And I'm going to multiply 4 times 1 and get 4, and 4 times 2 and get 8, and 4 times 8 and get 32. And now I need to add my partial products together. 2 plus 0 is 2. 4 plus 4 is 8. 6 plus 8 is 14. Carry the 1. 2 and 1 and 1 is 4. And nothing in 3 is 3. So my answer is 34,482. And try one more. 748 times 35. We're going to work it one digit at a time, starting in the ones place. I have 5 times 8, and that is 40. Put my 0, carry the 4. And 4 times 5 is 20, plus that 4 up top is 24, and carry the 2. And then 5 times 7 is 35, plus that 2 up top is 37. Now I'm moving on to that 3. But that's not really a 3, it's a 30 because it's in the tens place. So I need to make sure I put that 0 down. That indicates that I've moved over into the tens place. 3 times 8 is 24. Carry that 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus the 2 up top is 14. Carry the 1. 3 times 7 is 21, plus the 1 up top is 22. And now I need to add my partial products together. 0 and 0 is 0. 4 and 4 is 8. 7 and 4 is 11. Carry the 1. 2 and 3 was 5, and 1 more is 6. Nothing in 2 is 2. And so my final answer is 26,180.